Hi guys, welcome back to, okay, hold on. Whew. This lip gloss is hot. Whew, oh gosh, okay. Plumping it is. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Katie, and in today's video, I thought I would just go over my top priority books for 2024. I have been seeing the whole 24 books in the year 2024. However,
child, anyways,
I can't do that. I can't commit to 24. However, I was like, you know what? I can probably commit to 12. I think I could do 12. That's one a month. And then as I was looking on my shelves, I was picking books, and then I ended up with 16. So we're doing 16 books for 2024. So 12 plus 4 more. I can do math. I have been watching, I watch booktube anyway, but I've been watching the past several months for like people's favorites, and I picked out some from their videos. So I have 2 from one booktuber, 2 from another, and then I think 2 or 3 from another. So I will have them linked down below for you guys. But these are the 16 that I would like to read. I have some in physical form and some I don't, so it is what it is. But let's just get started with book 1. So these first 2 books are recommendations from McKay from over at Oh Hey It's McKay, because this past year I read Sweet Dandelion, which is one of her favorite books, and I absolutely loved it. It is now one of my favorites. So I now trust her with all her recommendations, because McKay, you can't steer me wrong, so I trust her with my life. So the first book is Even If It Hurts by Marnie Mann. She read this last year and absolutely loved it. So I have had it for a year and I haven't read it. So I figure it's a good time. And you're going to see a pattern with a lot of these books. They're going to hit you. They're going to hit you in the feels. We're going to cry this year. It's going to be good. It's going to be cathartic. It's going to be therapeutic. It's going to be amazing. So this book is a love triangle. And I know a lot of people will just no, not doing love triangles. I don't mind them. I don't go seeking them, but I don't mind them if they're in my books. So this is about a girl who goes abroad for work, for school, for something, and she meets this guy and they fall in love. And I guess she ends up coming home. They break up. She comes home. She gets married to another guy. They're in love. And then she has to go back abroad for work. And guess who she meets? Again, the guy from the past. So she got to choose, I think. I don't know. Maybe she doesn't. But McKay said that it wrecked her because it really resonated with her. So I may have a different reaction to this book, but I just know I do like Marnie Mann's writing and I wanted to read more of hers. So this one's definitely on the list. Plus the cover is gorgeous. So the cover is gorgeous. I'm going to read it anyway. And then the second book from McKay is Where the Mountain Meets the Sea, and this is by A.R. Breck, and this is not a typical romance book because it does not have an HEA. It does not have a happily ever after, but I'm okay with that. I'm like, it's fine. If the books don't have them, it's not like a big deal to me.
I said what I said.
I know some people have to have them for it to be like a romance, but it's the journey. It's the journey that I love in the book. It's like the happily ever after at the end is fine, but it's the journey that I'm reading. The end of the book is the end of the book, and you're not reading a whole lot at the end anyway, but you're reading the journey. So this is about our hero and heroine who meet when they're young, and I do think we see them a bit when they're younger, and then they get older as the book goes on. But all I know is she's a dancer, and I think he's a rock star, and they don't end up together. So take it as you will if you want to read it, but she loved it, so we're going to give this one a shot as well. Okay, the next 2 books are recommendations from Cheyenne over at That Tall Book Girl. And the first book is Maestro. She talked about this book this past year, saying how much she loved it. So, of course, I was like, okay, let's give it a shot. It is on KU, so, if you want to give it a shot as well. But this has to do a lot with music. So when they're both 13 years old, the hero and heroine are auditioning for some kind of music program at some music school, and that's where they meet. And then it just kind of goes from there, and it spans, I think it says it spans decades and continents. So Will they get together in the end? I don't know. I think it has an HEA, but like to get there, it's probably going to be very painful. And I think there's a lot of angst. So I'm definitely looking forward to this one. And then the other one that she recommended was Unbreak My Heart. I'm pretty sure this one was on her favorites. I think Maestro was on there also, but this one was just further up on the list. So this one is by Nicole Jacqueline, and this is very angsty. This is a best friend's husband, but no cheating. So I think what happens, she falls in love with her best friend's husband, but she doesn't do anything about it because he's in the army. She's best friends, with her best friend. And then her best friend ends up dying, and she was pregnant at the time, and the baby survives. So our heroine kind of steps in to take care of the kids, and the husband take care of the husband, you know. And then they're going to fall in love. So she loved it. And again, it sounds angsty, emotional. And like I said, this is the year of emotional reads. So looking forward to that one as well. The next 5 books are all recommendations from Bestie Book Reviews here on BookTube. And I take the recommendations and I just run with them because they will talk about books I've never heard of. Because a lot, if you watch BookTube a lot, you realize that the same books get recommended an awful lot. So when I go to their channel, it's totally different. They're like books I've never heard of, authors I've never heard of. And I'm like, yes, give them to me because I need to know all about the ones I've never heard of. So what was the first one? Okay, the first one is called 9 Minutes by Beth Flynn. This is an older book, and they say do not let the cover fool you. Okay, the cover's horrendous. We all know this, okay? But this is a motorcycle club trilogy. I'm pretty sure it's 3 books. It is romantic suspense. The book starts off with our heroine, who is 15 at the time, and she gets kidnapped by the motorcycle club, I want to say. And then she ends up marrying, like, the head of the club. And then, like, just stuff happens. Like, they said that they were reading these books, like, back to back to back, like, messaging each other, trying to, like, figure out, like, where are you at? Where are you at? Twists, plot turns. I'm here for it. And I don't think I've read a motorcycle club book since, was it Ain't Me, Babe? By Tilly Cole? I think it was. R.I.P. to that series. But I'm itching for an MC romance. So this one is definitely one that I want to get to very soon. Okay, the next book was Unseen Messages by Pepper Winters. This is a thick book. If you see it in person, it's thick. It's thick. But this is about a girl who goes viral on YouTube or something from a video where she sings, and then she goes like on this whirlwind tour, and she just wants some peace and quiet. So she wants to go to Fiji? Some island. I can't remember if it's Fiji or some other island. And I don't know if she hires like a charter plane or something, just like her and then the pilot. But he's like a grump who doesn't really want to work with anybody. And like there's all these signs for her to like tell her not to get on the plane. All this stuff is telling her like, hey, let's wait, you know, we should wait. She doesn't wait. She goes. The plane crashes on this island, and they are there for a very, very, very long time apparently. And they kind of have to learn how to live with one another and just help each other, because apparently he gets injured and she kind of has to be the one to like take charge and find them food and find them shelter and things like that. And apparently they are there for a very long time, so I'm sure feelings will emerge. But that was Jessica from Bestie Book Reviews. That was like her #1 this year, so definitely excited. And she said she cried, and she don't cry in books, so if she doesn't cry and I cried everything, we'll know I'm probably gonna cry. The next book recommendation from them is Lyrics of Her by Karen Crompton. I have never read Karen Crompton before. Never heard of her before their channel. And basically this is about a rock star who's in this band, and he gets accused of plagiarizing the songwriter's song. And he's like, no, I didn't do it. And she's like, yes, you did. But they're going to end up falling in love. And I don't know how that works. How could you fall in love with someone who supposedly plagiarized your song that you wrote? So we're going to see how that apparently works itself out. This is book 1, and I think a duet. But right now I'm just worried about book 1 to see if I like, you know, her style of writing. But they love this book, so hey, I'm going to give it a shot. Okay, the next book is The Surviving Trace by Collier Reed. And this is technically a historical. And I don't do historicals very much. I really don't. I'm not a fan. But apparently this book is set in our time for a little bit, and this girl works at an antique shop, I think, and she sees this picture from like 1912 or something like that, and somehow she gets sent back into 1912, and she is set to be married to none other than, I think his name, I think it's Trace. I think that's the guy's name. No, it's not. That's not his name. It's some weird name. Adien. It's a name. It's a name, but I can't remember it. But apparently he was the guy in the picture that she saw in the beginning of the book. So, and apparently he's a grump, you know, so we love that. But like I said, I don't do historicals, and this is historical, and it's also, I think, a trilogy, so we'll see if I enjoy it. But it's angsty, so you gotta love that. And the last recommendation by them is The Lovely Return by Carrie Ann Cole. I read Don't Kiss the Bride this past year and loved it so much. So I'm definitely excited to read more Carrie Ann Cole. This book, however, I don't know how she's going to do it, because this is technically a reincarnation of the man's wife who dies. So I do know that much. That's not a spoiler. So our hero's wife dies, and then this little 6-year-old girl, I don't know if it's 6 years later or just after she dies. I would assume it had to be 6 years later. So 6-year-old girl starts coming by his house, knowing things about the house that she shouldn't know about, and they just form a friendship, and then she gets older, and he gets older. So there's going to be a big age gap. But they said it was really good, especially Mandy. Mandy loves Carrie Ann Cole. This was her favorite of the year, so it has to be, well, it wasn't her favorite. I think, was it her favorite or second favorite? It doesn't matter. It was on the top. So I have to read it. I have to read more Carrie Ann Cole anyway, because I just absolutely loved Don't Kiss the Bride this year. Okay, next we're back to the books that I physically own, and that is going to be Heartbreak Warfare. This is by Heather Orgeron and Kate Stewart. This is another one that I feel is going to be very angsty and just very, like, tug at your heartstrings. So our heroine in this is in the army. I think she's a medic in the army or something like that. And she goes off to, she's married, she has a child, she goes off to war, and when she's there, she meets this guy, and they just become friends, and then I think they become prisoners or hostages or something, and they go through a very traumatic event, and when she comes home, she's just not who she once was, which is completely understandable. It's completely valid, completely understandable, and really the only person that knows what she went through was the man. I don't even know if this is the man. This could be her husband for all I know, but was the guy that she went through it with, and then so they start forming a bond, because a bond is not, trauma bonding is fast and it works. So we're gonna see. I've heard it's really good. Is it gonna make me cry? I don't know, but I'm excited, and I'm nervous, and I'm just all the feels. So we're gonna see, because I have read Kate Stewart before, and she likes to rip people apart, so we'll see. Okay, the next book is Transcendence by Shay Savage. I have to hold it like this or the light's gonna hit it. So basically, this is a time travel book, which I guess Surviving Trace was as well, technically. But our heroine gets sent back to the cave times and meets the hero. I don't even know if he has a name. Because they can't communicate, because he doesn't speak English yet, caveman, and she does. So like we get a lot of like inner dialogue with him, and he will often like say in his head like, wow, my partner needs to shut up, because people will not like her, she talks so much, because like he sees her and he just automatically thinks, oh, that's my partner, that's who I'm supposed to be with. So I have a feeling she's not going to feel that way. I really just have a feeling she's not going to feel that way. So we're going to give it a shot. It's not very long. I was like under 300 pages. Shut up. We love that for me. Okay, next we have Butcher and Blackbird. I keep putting this off, and I don't know why. This came out in 2023. It's still relatively newish, This is listen to me. I'm about to say some words I never thought I would say in a sentence before. This is a dark romance rom-com. Yeah. Like, if you didn't know you needed that in your life, now you do. Because, like, who doesn't need that? So basically, we're following two serial killers who, I know, it's like, it's a rom-com and they're killing people. But they only kill bad guys, okay? And they meet and they come up with, like, this game of where they're going to pick one person, and whoever can kill them first wins. But in the process, they're going to fall in love, and it's probably going to be real cute. I also hear this is narrated by Joe Arden. And he, if you know, you know, because it's just Joe. Okay. I do have the audiobook for this because I hear it's really good. I mean, not just because Joe narrates it, but also because it's good. So I'm probably going to end up reading it and then like listening as I read it. I've heard really good things, so definitely excited for this one. And then I was like, well, you know what? I have yet to read a Jennifer Hartman. I don't know what it is. Lord help me, I don't know what it is. So I put one on my list. And if I was going to put one on my list, I had to put one that was going to like break me the most, right? So it's still beginning. I have put this on so many TBRs. At this point, it's not even funny. It just needs done. It just needs read. We're going to do it. I've got the audio for this one as well. We're just going to do it. So this one we are following our hero and heroine. Our heroine is at a bar. And the hero is her sister's soon-to-be husband. And so one night she's at a bar. She's drunk. She needs to ride home. She calls her sister. Her sister can't do it. So she calls him. He comes and picks her up. They start fighting. And then they are both kidnapped by this kidnapper. That's the word. By this guy who takes people who he thinks doesn't like each other and then forces them into a situation to where they like depend on each other and makes them fall in love. So there's a lot of stuff that happens in this book, in I guess the first part, that triggers need to be said. I don't know what they are because I haven't looked up the triggers yet, but I know it's dark. So they do escape, and then of course the only people that understand one another are them. So I assume this has an HEA, but I really kind of feel bad for the sister because I am a sister. So if that would happen to me, I'd feel kind of bad. Well, you know what? It's not selfish of me to feel bad because I'm like, my sister was kidnapped, but I'm feeling bad because he doesn't love me anymore. I don't even know if that's the case. I'm just, no, we're just going to move on. Okay, the next book is Marriage for One by Ella Mays. This is a marriage of convenience type book. I hear a lot of good things about it. I don't know why it has to be so long, but it is what it is. Technically, this book is about a girl who needs this, like, she needs this cafe, or she has this cafe, or she wants to keep this cafe, and the only way to do that is to be married somehow, I think. And her lawyer, or a lawyer that she knows, is like, I'll marry you. Because, like, why not? You know, I have nothing better to do. So they're going to end up getting married. And I think it's a slow burn because, of course, they probably either don't know each other or don't like each other. So we're going to see how it goes. A lot of people seem to love it. We're just going to see. We're just going to see. But I'm hoping. Because, one, I love the cover. Not just because of the man. I just love the pink. The blush pink. It hurts me when I don't love books, but I love the covers, because I'm like, oh, do I keep it for the cover? Do I get rid of it because I didn't like the book? It's a whole ordeal. Okay, the second to last book. Like, I want to read this, but I totally don't. One Last Rainy Day by Kate Stewart. So this is book one in the new, like, Ravenwood. No, it's not Ravenwood. It's Ravenshood. Ravenswood was that show on from Pretty Little Liars. Ravenhood Legacy. Okay. This is technically a spinoff of the Ravenhood trilogy. If you read it, then by all means read this book. If you haven't, don't read this book. You'll be spoiled. So, this is Dom's story. That's not really all I have to say. Like, how do you not, like, automatically, like, just ooze into a puddle when you hear that, right? And that's all I'm going to say. This Dom's story, I just don't know. I don't know how this book's going to end. I don't know if this book is going to conclude in the second book of the trilogy. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to know, but I do want to know. I'm also probably going to listen to it because you know who narrates it. Joe Arden. Shut up. He narrated all the other 3 books, and he's just so good. So we're just going to see. I mean, we're not going to see. I'm actually going to read it. I'm just scared. Like, I don't want to relive that, but I'm probably going to have to. And then the last book is, like, okay, this is, like, last of, like, I have so many I want to read, but this is, like, what stood out to me. That's Sick Love by Jessie Hall. So I heard about this last year. I was like, okay, let's just give it a shot. It's a very dark romance surrounding a cult and a girl in a cult and a guy who wants to help her escape the cult. So that's really all I know. That's all I really need to know. People seem to really enjoy this. We're just going to see. This is probably really dark. Because I think, like, it's really just cult, and I just, that hurts. We're just going to see. I'm scared, but I'm excited. And I'm scared. So those are the books. Those are the 16 books that are top priority that I want to read this year. I probably should have started in January. I didn't put any of these on my TBR. I didn't do it. That's okay. We'll get to them when we do. It's fine. Let me know down below in the comments what is on the top of your priority list of 2024. Which book are you just dying to read that you just have to read this year? If you don't want to leave me a comment but want to leave me an emoji or something to let me know that you were here, leave. That's okay. Well, we can't do that book because that's a rosary, and I don't think that's what we have a rosary. Leave me the rainy cloud, like the rain clouds emoji for that book, because we're not going to use the rosary for that one. But if you're new here and enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. If you're new, I would love for you to stick around in this new year of 2024. The rest of this month's videos will be a continuance of like my new year content. So I have my series that I want to start in 24, series I need to finish in 24, and my channel goals and my channel like updates and goals and stuff. So I have those 3 videos left for January, and then we'll be on to just the regular scheduled content. But if you want to follow me on my social media, my Goodreads and my Instagram are always linked down below for you guys. But I hope you're having a great start to your new year, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys. So basically, the way I have these set up is I don't know. I don't know why I have these set up the way I do. Okay, you can steal. You can. What's the word I'm looking for? I cannot speak. And then the last request. No, it's my lips. I can't. Okay.